feel like I'm being outspoken talking about this. If my partner started lighting up a cigarette and smoking, I would have to have an intervention because it's true. I do eat vegan, whole food, plant-based. Here's why. I don't want you to feel pain and stress, and I don't want an animal to feel pain and stress. Sometimes people get into bizarre details of these matters, and they think to themselves, or they ask, yeah, but is it really that bad? And are you sure the animals feel these things? Just research it a little bit more. And yes, the way these factory farm animals and other animals are killed in general, it's horrendous. Animals feel pain. They experience suffering. What world do you want to live in? I want to live in a world where everything which has a conscious experience doesn't have to experience the ways it's not nice to be. Of course, it's a little bit of a tricky question how we get to that, but that's just what I want, and I want to acknowledge that. And then how I get there, sure, that's just the tricky question of getting anywhere. It's always how. I think a lot of the reasons why other people don't eat vegan, whole food, plant-based is because of a lack of education, a lack of knowing how to do it, a lack of empowerment. But I've been undereducated and underempowered on most of the things which are the most important things in my life. So what I've done to educate myself and empower myself to make the movements that I know I want to do, because the values are what matter. I don't need to eat meat. It's extremely easy as well not to eat meat because the perks on moving over are tenfold. It's cheaper. Yeah, sure, you can say it's more expensive because there's like all these luxury whole food plant-based items, but I'm not doing that. That would be too expensive. And it would be too expensive to go to restaurants as well. Those are also, in my opinion, superfluous. I ate beans, lentils, I ate vegetables, I ate grains, I ate all the cheap, good food that's obviously healthy and abundant. There's no ambiguity about whether grains or vegetables are good for you. I also don't eat sugar or oil because we know sugar's bad for you and we know oil is bad for you. I am by no means saying that doctors are irrelevant. Yet, this is just the truth of what happened in my circumstances. I've had asthma for years, and I actually had some other health issues too. So I've always had asthma, and prior to converting over to vegan, whole food, plant-based, I had some other very serious digestion issues going on. Went to the doctors, got prescribed drugs. We should have obviously been looking at my lifestyle habits and what I was eating, because at that time what I was eating wasn't good. I don't understand how that conversation didn't happen. Every time I went to the doctors, the go-to was to prescribe me drugs. But that was all I ever got. The current system that I was in at that time, which I would think is still fairly prevalent today, was go to the doctors, get some drugs. 26 years later, I happened to meet the love of my life, and they happened to suggest, because they're already vegan, whole food, plant-based, I don't eat all plants. I eat plants, I let go of dairy, let go of meat. Certainly, having gone vegan, whole food, plant-based, no sugar, no oil, all my health issues have gone. The drugs that I took in, well, they didn't make that change. Changing over the nutrition, it made that change. So that should have been the number one thing I got suggested. I don't need my asthma medication anymore. I don't need the other medications. At that time, I was on asthma medications and I had 3 to 4, 5 different pills I was taking. Someone could have just said, buy some more berries. Nutritionfacts.org is where I now get my information about what to eat. Veganism, whole food, plant-based is just going to be better for your health, your lifestyle. It's better for the environment, as we're talking about. We're going to make all these shifts quickly. And the question is, what can I do? This is something I can clearly do, which will make a significant impact. There's a list which we'll have to get up of the top things you can do. What's my high value here? I can talk about politics forever, but at the end of the day, it's just this personal question. What can I do? How to make the lives easier for everyone else? I don't think it's a tremendous mystery, some of the things that we should be doing these days. Good ideas come out, which like eating vegan, whole food, plant-based, which is only beneficial in every single possible way. And then you get people who actively promote and cause diffusion, companies afraid of losing money. The biggest threat I think humanity faces sometimes, or like the biggest challenge we have moving forward, is how slow we are to pick up and adapt. Internet's making it better. Why am I a vegan? Am I vegan rant? It's just very clearly a simple thing I ought to be doing, amongst other things, to make the world more peaceful for everyone. I think below we'll have to list some very good vegan, whole food, plant-based resources, because there's quite a few to help us make that transition. You consume those resources and it'll make making this obvious lifestyle shift. What's the biggest thing? Which is improve the quality of my life? Probably this dietary shift just clearly seems to impact the most of my life. Generally, it probably does 90% of the work. Meditation's great, but it's working with this refined 2%. It really helps me do the fine points. It makes me step into moments of amazing bliss, and it helps me diminish the moments of intense suffering. Meditation does this little bit, changing the dietary thing. That changes my overall energy for every moment I'm here. It does a lot. May we all be committed to doing what we know needs to be done today, regardless of whether it's easy or not. May we identify that and then actually do something about it, because we want to for ourselves, for others, and for the environment too. May the conditions arise for us to live more peaceful lives and for us to prevail discursive ideas and ignorance.